Hello, cheese friends!
Hey, cheese peoples!
It is September. Fall is just around the corner, depending on when you're watching this. Although, if you're anywhere in the South, it doesn't feel like it.
Still so very hot. Still so very hot.
But we did have like a slight drop in temperatures today, so that it feels like, I wouldn't say winter is coming, but I would say not triple digits is coming.
We're moving further away from summer and into the cooler weeks.
Yay! And that will change
awesome.
what is available in the cheese world, especially as right now we're still getting to eat on sheep's milk cheeses, goat's milk cheeses, but soon, due to seasonality, they're going to be going dry to start to be pregnant and to start storing up that milk and everything they need to make that baby, and then we won't have all those cheeses again until spring. So still kind of the end of the season to be enjoying those things.
And this is a fun time because a lot of these animals are eating straight grass, some of the most luscious milk coming out of this time frame. So really enjoyable time to be eating cheese.
Yes, wherever the animals are at in the United States, if they are grass-based, then they are out on the grass. So oftentimes in Texas, we're like, yay, animals are out to pasture. Well, that's only in Texas because we don't have snow year-round, versus in Wisconsin, they are not. They are in barns until they can be let out. So let us get to the topic of this month. This month we are talking about, it's one-of-a-kind theme. And we are going for all Good Food Award winners. So the Good Food Foundation, of which we are members, we're members of the Good Food Merchants Alliance. The Good Food Foundation is operated, it's a nonprofit operated out of California. And it really took in its cues and was inspired by the slow food movement. So the slow food movement honors and acknowledges foods that are made in a way that is good, clean, and fair. And while those can be buzzwords and not have a lot of meaning today because they're overused, they go on to define what that means to them. Well, the Good Food Foundation, playing on that, honors foods that are made in a way that's tasty, authentic, and responsible. And so they talk about that, and we're going to briefly review it with each one of these makers, but how do they treat their lands? How do they treat their herds, their people? And then do they make a delicious product? And that's the
and so
Good Food
way. Besides providing education, marketing resources, one of the main things that they offer is this amazing food competition, which both Kendall and I have been judges for, which is pretty amazing. They have about 10 unique categories that they do judging for. Started very small and they've grown every year. They've kind of added a new one. It's usually hosted in San Francisco. All the producers from around the country send in their products, and they do it by region. So I believe there's a handful of regions, the East, West, South, Midwest, and those makers kind of compete for these awards for being a Good Food Award finalist. So,
and something that they do that's pretty unique is, first we just judge all the foods, and it's a blind flavor. It's a blind tasting, meaning that nothing is labeled. And so in addition to cheese and charcuterie, there's pickles, there's chocolate, there's honeys, there's a fish category,
beer, wine, spirits,
oils and vinegars.
Honeys. So cool.
And so we just taste it blindly. Then of those top ones, they then go through a rigorous testing process, and they look to make sure that they've met all these standards. So they don't just trust what people say about themselves. They make sure to try to back it up and see that they are walking the walk.
So if you become a Good Food Award finalist, you get an email that says, hey, you've been ranked as one of the best tasting products. Will you please fill in this questionnaire and provide to us what you're doing that hit those 3 categories that Kendall mentioned a few minutes ago. Which, did you do cheese too? I did cheese. Did you taste cheese?
Yes, we both did
cheese. And then one of our team members did jam one year, which was cool.
Nicholas.
So one of my goals is to go back and do the honey tasting.
You would choose honey over chocolate?
Oh, maybe I'll have to go back twice.
Yeah, you
anyway, what they also do, which is really fun, is Good Food Mercantile. So at the end of the year, they'll have an awards program virtually in the last year. But
I got to share the stage, y'all, with Alice Waters, the Alice Waters of Chez Panisse, and follow in her footsteps to present at this beautiful award show.
Yeah, and so they do this because all of these producers come together and they get to celebrate being a winner, so a good food winner. And then the following day, they do a mercantile where these producers get to set up a booth, and buyers and owners and cheesemongers and brewers, they all get to meet, come and taste the products. And so a number of these types of product things we found there for the first time.
And it's kind
Like
of
this little
an
beauty.
off trade show, if you will. There are the big trade shows, like the Fancy Food Show in New York, which is just amazing. And there's thousands upon thousands of booths. And then there's the Fancy Food Show in San Francisco and these other food shows. But this is kind of one to like let the smaller guy and gal have some representation and speak directly into smaller shops like us who care about their stories and can talk about it and have the capacity to do so.
Should we eat and talk about it?
Yeah, we should do
I
cheese,
do
right,
green
y'all?
dirt? You want to talk about green
I'll
dirt?
introduce Green Dirt and then you can talk about this cheese.
That sounds fantastic.
So Green Dirt Farm was started by Sarah Hoffman. She is a recovering or retired academic physician. And when she started having children, she realized she just wanted a different lifestyle for them. And it was really at the birth of her third child around 1998 that she's like, you know what? I want to get back to the land. I grew up and am familiar with the agricultural lifestyle and all the blessings that raising children on the land can give you. And so 2002, she buys the farm, and it really takes until 2008 to start making cheeses. Well, lo and behold, she's doing it the right way. She put all that research came in handy because 1 year later in 2009, she won her first blue ribbon at the American Cheese Society, where John was previously president. They have a big annual competition too. She won her first blue ribbon for different cheese, and then has since gone on to win over 80 awards just since 2008 for her small selection of beautiful curated sheep's milk cheeses. And then she also incorporated some other mixed milk. So they have their own farmstead operation. They are certified humane. They have their own sheep on their property. And then now, because of their success in making these amazing cheeses, they are buying milk from nearby farmers as well, or herdsmen and herdswomen, who also are meeting all the same standards that they do. So that's most important to them. And in fact, the name Green Dirt Farm came from the fact that they are all grass-based operations, where that's predominantly in their diet, because as they argue, the more diverse the foliage in their diet, the more flavor compounds are present in their cheeses.
And this one is spectacular. So this is a soft ripened cheese at Green Dirt Farm. And you'll see right under the ash line, cut it down like that. Right under the ash line is a layer of, right under the rind, which is Penicillium canimberti, the white mold, is a layer of black gray ash. And so this cheese is made in a style of classic French cheeses like Celsius or Valençay, the classic AOC. What you get when you age a cheese like this is this really nice buttery cream line, this sort of flaky, slightly dense textured interior paste. And so the very inside is going to taste the most like the original sheep's milk. And the butter cream line is going to have a little bit more vegetal to it. It's pretty spectacular. And this cheese
So just to be clear, that black right under the rind is not blue mold that you find in a blue cheese. It is ash. Yes, you can eat the rind, eat the whole dang thing. This is absolutely delicious. You're getting those, as John likes to say, 3 cheeses in one. That inner flaky, then that cream line, which is almost like butter.
And sheep's milk is the richest of the milk types. So this just fills your mouth with happiness and joy. It is so good. Our kids are probably going to eat the rest of it as soon as we finish
Yes, they were like,
filming.
when are you making the cheese video so that we can eat the rest of the cheese?
This is how they support our business so they can eat more. But Green Dirt, if you want to learn a little bit more about them, we did a behind the scenes with Green Dirt last May. And we have it on our YouTube channel, so you can watch the class where we kind of show all of the aspects, the barn, the kitchen, all of it.
They're based in Weston, Missouri. They also in 2016 launched a cafe. They do these beautiful on the farm events and tasting dinners and everything. So if you are in the area or ever traveling in that area, they would love to have you, and they have a beautiful operation set up. So make it a bucket list to go see them. All right,
Wow.
We're staying in the bloomy rind category, but we are moving from a sheep milk cheese to a mixed milk cheese that is goat and cow. So whereas you get more richness in this, then we want you to compare it. Actually, they're both rich in different ways. So the richness and fullness of the sheep's milk fat here. Now we're moving to Kunik, and we are going from Missouri over to
Warrensburg, New York.
John's neck of the wood.
Johnsburg, New York, a little tiny town just west of Lake George. I had the privilege of growing up in that part of the world, but didn't know Green Dirt, Nettle Meadow, because they started much later than I was visiting that part of New York. But we had the opportunity this summer to go visit the farm, and Sheila and Lorraine are amazing people. We've had our family of 4 and my brother's family of 5, and we spent an hour, and they showed us every aspect. And what's really cool about Nettle Meadow is that they are also an animal sanctuary. So their main herd has moved off this property because over the course of the last few decades, they've gotten so many rescue animals brought in that are at end of life. And for some places, that means end of use. And so instead of
retiring them
early,
euphemism, retiring them, which is what is common in the dairy industry, and especially in mass production.
They bring them. And so Lorraine spent 45 minutes introducing us to each of the animals, Hamilton the pig, and all the, there's
they've got geriatric donkeys, llama that spits,
bunnies, a little bit of everything. But you can see there's this love for the land and for the animals, and then they go on and make some of the best cheese in the world. Kunik has been in our top 5 most popular cheeses for the last 5 years.
This is our Shop Leads Gina's favorite cheese, a customer favorite. It's another Good Food Award winner. So go ahead and give it a taste. And all of our wheels are going to be different because this wheel is about a hockey puck shaped size. So these all came from the same batch, but each one, depending on where it was at in the aging caves, can be different. But so ours is perfectly right. You don't get as much as those 3 different textures as we did on this because this has a higher, taller shape, and so that affects the way the inside ages. Remember, the bloomy rinds, the mold on the outside is breaking down those proteins and making it creamy on the inside. So this one is creamy all the way throughout. It's a little bit flatter. It's goat's milk, so you're getting that tanginess of the goat's milk with cow's cream. And this is a triple cream cheese, so over 75% butter fat. That's where you're getting that creamy, lush, decadent, palate coating goodness, if you will. So an awesome one to try in the middle at any time. I would actually try all 4 cheeses naked first or in the buff, but our pairing will go great with each one of these. But on the Kunik right now, I'm craving the pairing, so we'll come back to that.
Okay, so our third cheese
going from New York to
Massachusetts, Maggie's Round. It's from Cricket Creek Farm. So this Cricket Creek is got Jersey cows. And they're focused on grass-fed. So their milk is stunning.
Why, John, how can I tell by just visually looking at this cheese?
It's a great question.
That it's a grass-fed cow's milk cheese.
So the beauty about a cheese like this, you see how vibrant that yellow happens to be? It also happens to be part of the way that it's processed or made. But animals like cow and sheep, they do not digest the beta carotene that comes through the food that they eat, so that beta carotene actually ends up in their milk. So the more vibrant the yellow, the more likely that these cows were eating really rich and vibrant forage. Goat's milk, on the other hand, goats can actually digest that beta carotene, so the milk color should never change. In theory, as it ages all the way out, it should remain bright white. So if you go and look at aged hard cheeses,
if it's bright white, it's gonna be goat's milk cheese.
And if it's this deep yellow, it's gonna be cow's milk.
And if not only that, it's probably a cow's milk cheese made from when the cows were grazing on grasses, and not from winter milk.
So the first thing that you're gonna notice on this is
smell it,
really
y'all. Hopefully you're eating these at room temp.
Yeah, this really striking, beautiful rind. It's a natural rind, which means it looks like dirt, it smells like dirt, and if you eat it, which I encourage you to try it, it's gonna taste a little bit like dirt. And that's pretty cool. This is inspired by Toma styles, Italian Toma. There's also Tome styles that are French, but this was inspired by the Italian versions of Tomas. And oftentimes in those Italian Tomas, you get pineapple. And so this one, I haven't tasted this wheel yet, should have like lemon curd and pineapple flavor notes, but you get this nice earthiness coming through from the rind, which makes it.
Yeah, and when I tried it without the rind first, and then tried the rind, and I don't get dirt on the rind, I get that cellar, almost like if you've ever tasted wine in a cellars or in one of those cave-like experiences, I get that from the rind, so it doesn't taste like dirt or gritty on my mouth.
Tastes like an upside down pineapple cake.
In fact, I would drink this with a Malbec or Pinot Noir or something like that if I was drinking right now, but I'm not.
It is wonderful. Well,
I know the flavor of that paste is amazing,
It's stunning.
and the texture, and it has this beautiful basket weave pattern around it. So definitely enjoy
What do you
that
think?
one. And this is a special cheese we don't often see.
No, I would say this is aged about 4 months.
And brought that in just
Send
for
me
you
salt.
guys and gals. Okay,
That's so good. I'm very happy.
I know. We're like, let's get off so we can just eat. And you're ready to do that too. Okay, our 4th cheese today. Now we're going to Iowa, is that right? To Milton Creamery with Prairie Breeze Cheddar.
So this was their first like show-stopping cheese. We actually in our cheese case we sell there's a sister cheese called Florrie's Truckle, which is a partnership between the Florrie family farm and with Milton Creamery. But Prairie Breeze is an aged white cheddar. It's aged for a minimum of 9 months. And so,
Dang, that's good. I have not had a bite of this cheese in a very long time.
well, yeah, this cheese is so good. This is closer to like a 1-year cheddar. You're gonna get some calcium crystals.
It has this nice acidity. People get scared of what the word acid means or acidity. It just means it's like puckering my lips up and creating saliva on the sides of my palate, creating what people might think of as that sharpness in a cheddar. So if you like a sharp cheddar, I'm getting that. I'm getting so much though, complexity and depth of flavor, some fruitiness to it. What do you get? Or that nuttiness.
Nutty. Maybe just because we ate this pineapple.
Yeah, maybe
again.
back to back. And we did pasteurized. This baby was a raw milk cheese. And now we're going back to pasteurized too.
So this has a very distinct sweet cheddar flavor and aroma. So
As compared to more like horseradishy cheddars. I get that sweet note for
they
sure.
use it certain cultures and when they're producing to get that sweetness that develops and gets delivered.
We have some of that crystalline structure that can often happen in cheddars.
So this cheese was, they started, their first batch of cheese was produced in 2006. And in 2009, Prairie Breeze won Best in its category at the American Cheese Society and has since gone on to be a Good Food Award winner. Milton Creamery is an outstanding company, all cow's milk, and they won tons of awards. So with this one, what you have left melts well. So you should consider eating. I'm gonna just keep eating this.
Breakfast toast, just like a good
Breakfast
like
toast,
bagel.
mac and cheese. Mac and cheese melted over eggs, grate it. You're gonna be in for a really special experience. And then pairing it with the tomato sultana.
So y'all, we went with the savory pairing this week, which I love. Also discovered at the Good Food Awards. Born in Karachi, Naomi Mobed, but she's lived everywhere. She was raised in Tehran. So we're all like, she's been in Hong Kong and Boston and London and Paris. And this is her tomato and white sultana. So it's made with Kashmiri chilies with the tomato, turning it into a chutney. But you're getting that savory. I want some too. And she is just a firehouse, force to be reckoned with, a determined woman who has had to be to get her products on the shelves. And it's a hard placement. People don't know what to do with it. And so our goal is to say, look, pair it with cheese. It's delicious with this. Put this on a grilled cheese sandwich. Put it on a breakfast sandwich.
Put it on a pork chop.
We have pork chops for dinner.
Just eat it with anything. You get really great Middle Eastern spice. Really what she's trying to do is create the flavors that she grew up with in a jar. And
That's accessible and fun and that everybody can enjoy if you're just creative with it.
yeah. So this brand is a force to be reckoned with. And so definitely try anytime you see it, try it, buy it, enjoy it. It's really beautiful and special.
And see how it plays differently with the creaminess. I think that this is a pretty acidic product with those tomatoes. So see how it plays with the richness of these two cheeses. And then with the acid of the cheddar. That's gonna be a crazy bite. All right, guys, gals, with that, everybody, we appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of our cheese club. We hope you enjoy many of the specialties we bring in. We do because we bring it in for you. We get to taste them for the first time in a while as some of our regular classic favorites. Enjoy, and then I don't know what's coming up in October, but we'll see you in October.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye y'all.